Once the presentation has been created, you can also print it. It can be printed on different types of media. The different methods used to print the presentations are as follows: acetates for overhead projections. Delegate handouts may be 2, 3 or 6 slides per page. Presenter notes. Presentation outline. All the presentation components listed below can be printed: slides, handouts, notes pages, outline view. Whichever components you choose to print, the output is always obtained through a printer on the medium that you select. Printing acetates. You can even directly print on acetates if your printer supports this facility. Or else, printouts can be taken on paper and then copied on the acetates. Printing delegate handouts. The presentations can also be printed as delegate handouts. These delegate handouts can be printed in 3 formats, that is, either 2, 3 or 6 slides per page. A visual record of the presentation is created if 2 or 6 slides are being printed per page. Here there will be very little space for the delegates to add notes about the presentation. The handouts comprising of 6 slides per page are very advantageous as they provide the presenter with a quick visual reference of the slides. The handouts comprising of 3 slides will provide the delegates the required space to make notes about each slide. The notes for each slide are placed on the right-hand side of each slide and can be easily viewed along with the slide. Thus, when the 3-slide handout is printed, the slides will be printed on the left-hand side of each page with space for notes to the right. Printing presenter's notes. When creating a presentation, you may also want to add notes for reference. These notes can be added directly to the presentation using PowerPoint. When you choose to print the notes, a single slide will be printed on each page, along with the notes that have been added to the slide. If there is no note added for a slide, the slide will still be printed on a single page, with the space for the notes left blank. You can utilize this space to write down notes at a later stage. Printing presentation outlines. You can also print an outline of the presentation. The presentation outline is simply printed in the form of a textual outline. The outline can either contain only the titles of the slides, or it can also contain the presentation content. Now we shall see how to print the presentation using the Print Dialog Box. First, click on the File option in the standard menu bar to display the File menu. Then select the Print option, or press the Ctrl+P key combination on the keyboard. The Print Dialog Box will be displayed. The Print Dialog Box has 4 sections: Printer, Print Range, Copies, Print What. The Printer section displays information about the printer that is currently selected. You can select a printer from the list of printers that is displayed. You can change the printer setup such as paper used, graphics to be included, and fonts. The different device options can also be changed using the Properties button. You can print to a file instead of the printer by selecting the Print to File checkbox. The Print Range section of the Print Dialog Box enables you to selectively print portions of your presentation. There are 4 options available here. Selecting the All option will print the whole presentation. The Current Slide option will print only the current slide. You can select and print a part of the presentation using the Selection option. You can use the Slide option to specify individual slide numbers or a range, which will identify the start and end numbers of the set of slides that are to be printed. The Copies section of the Print Dialog Box can be used to specify the number of copies that are to be printed. You can also specify whether the copies are to be collated or not. The Print What section of the Print Dialog Box can be used to specify which components of the presentation are to be printed. There are 4 options available: slides, handouts, notes pages, outline view. If you select the handout option, the handouts section will become active. Here you can specify the number of slides that are to be printed on a page. You can also specify the order in which they are to be printed, that is, vertical or horizontal. There are also options available for selecting grayscale, scale to fit paper, pure black and white, frame slides, include animations and print hidden files. By making the appropriate settings in the Print Dialog Box, you can print acetates, delegate handouts, presenter's notes, presentation outlines. In order to print the acetates, click on the File option in the standard menu bar to display the File menu. Then click on the Print option in the menu to display the Print dialog box. Choose the appropriate printer. Select the number of copies to be printed. In the Print What section, select the Slide option. Select the pure black and white option if colored output is not required. Select the Scale to Fit Paper option. The Frame Slides option can be selected to frame the slides. After specifying all the settings, click on the OK button to start printing. Similarly, to print delegate handouts, open the Print dialog box and select the appropriate printer. Then specify the range of slides to be printed. Specify the number of copies to be printed. In the Print What section, select the Handout option. Select the pure black and white option if colored output is not required. Start the printing process by clicking on the OK button. To print presenter's notes, open the Print dialog box and select the appropriate printer. Specify the required print range. Specify the number of copies that are to be printed. In the Print What section, select the Notes Pages option. Select the pure black and white option if colored output is not required. Start the printing process by clicking the OK button. To print the presentation outline, open the Print dialog box and select the appropriate printer. Specify the required print range. Specify the number of copies that are to be printed. In the Print What section, select the Outline View option. Select the pure black and white option if colored output is not required. Start the printing process by clicking on the OK button. After creating the presentation, you may want to run it as an electronic slideshow on the computer. In an electronic slideshow, each slide along with its text, art and graphics will take up the entire screen. All the other screen elements will be hidden and only the slide elements are displayed on the entire screen. To start the slideshow, click on the View option in the standard menu bar to display the View menu. Choose the Slideshow option from the View menu to start the slideshow. Or you can also directly click on the slideshow icon. Since the presentation comprises of a number of slides, you will need to move from one slide to the next, or maybe even move back to a previous slide or the first slide in the presentation. You can use any of the following options to move to the next slide. Press the right arrow key on the keyboard. Press the down arrow key on the keyboard. Press the page down key on the keyboard. Press the space bar key on the keyboard. Click on the right mouse button to select an option from the pop-up menu. Click the left mouse button. Press the N key on the keyboard. You can use any of the following options to move to a previous slide. Press the left arrow key on the keyboard. Press the up arrow key on the keyboard. Press the page up key on the keyboard. Press the P key on the keyboard. Click the right mouse button to select an option from the pop-up menu. Press the backspace key on the keyboard. Also, you can return to the first slide by holding down both the mouse buttons for 2 seconds. You can make the slide screen go blank and set its color to black by pressing the B key once. Pressing the B key once again will remove this setting. Similarly, you can make the screen go blank and set its color to white by pressing the W key once. Pressing the W key once again will remove this setting. You can exit from a slideshow by using one of the following options. Press the Escape key from the keyboard. Press the Ctrl plus Break key combination. If you click the right mouse button anywhere in the slideshow, the pop-up menu shown here will be displayed, using which the user can navigate through the slideshow. The pop-up menu has the following options: Next, Previous, Go sub-options, Meeting Minder, Speaker Notes, Pointer options sub-options, Screen sub-options, Help, End Show. These options help the user to navigate through the presentation. A slideshow shortcut menu is also available to the user during the slideshow. To display the shortcut menu during the slideshow, press the F1 key. To preview the transition effect for a slide in the slide sorter view, click on the slide transition icon in the toolbar. The slide transition dialog box will appear to display the transition effect. We know that a slideshow comprises of many slides. It is always desirable to have a smooth transition between the slides so that the user can easily swap between the slides. Transitions are the special effects that can be added to a slideshow, which will determine how the transition from one slide to the next is to take place. In order to add transitions to a slideshow, switch to the slide sorter view by clicking on the slide sorter icon. Select the slide transition option from the slideshow menu. This will display the slide transition dialog box. You can select a transition from the effect drop-down list. When you select a transition, it will be applied to the picture in the preview box so that you can get an idea of the effect. You can view the transition again by clicking on the picture. You can set the speed at which the transition is to take place by selecting one of the 3 options, slow, medium or fast, that are listed in the dialog box. You can preview the speed that has been chosen in the preview box. To change the transition for the current slide only, click on the Apply button in the Slide Transition dialog box. To change the transition for all the slides in the presentation, click on the Apply to All button in the Slide Transition dialog box. Since the slideshow involves a number of slides, the timing for each slide is an important factor, that is, the duration for which each slide is present on the screen. PowerPoint allows you to set the timing for each slide. You can specify a different timing for each slide. For example, the first slide may appear for 10 seconds, the second slide for 20 seconds, the third for 5 seconds, and so on. To set the timing for the slides, select the slideshow option on the standard menu bar. From the drop-down menu, select the Rehearse Timing option. The slideshow will appear on the screen with a clock displayed in the top left-hand corner of the screen. This clock will show the duration for which the slide has been displayed on the screen. After viewing the slide, you can shift to the next slide by clicking anywhere on the slide or on the clock button. When the presentation ends, a dialog box is displayed informing you of the total time taken to browse through the slideshow. You will then be given an option to record the new timings and use them in slideshow view. Select Yes to record the new timings. Selecting No will cancel the timings. You can also see the time taken for viewing individual slides. First, switch to the slide sorter view. Each slide will be displayed along with its timing below the slide box. Sometimes it becomes necessary to emphasize a particular part of the slide. When the slideshow is running, you can add freehand annotations to draw attention to a particular part of the slide. To add annotations to the slideshow, begin the slideshow by clicking on the View option in the standard menu bar and then selecting Slideshow option. Click on the right mouse button to display the shortcut menu. Select Pointer Options from the pop-up menu to display the Pointer Options submenu. Select the Pen option from the submenu displayed. Now hold down the left mouse button and drag the mouse to write or draw on the screen. To erase annotations during a slideshow, press the E key. When you move to the next slide, the annotations will automatically disappear. When you finish, just press the Escape key to turn off this feature. A slideshow normally comprises of a number of slides. Many times it becomes necessary to hide a few slides and display only some slides. The ability to hide slides is an important feature of PowerPoint. In order to hide the slides, first select the slides to be hidden in the Slide Sorter view. Click on the Slideshow option on the menu bar to display the drop-down menu. Select the Hide Slide option from the drop-down menu. Or you can also click on the Hide Slide icon on the Slide Sorter toolbar. The selected slides will now be hidden during the entire slideshow. When a slide has been hidden, an icon will appear below the slide in the Slide Sorter view, containing the slide number with a line through it to indicate that it is hidden. This hidden slide can be displayed again if desired. During a slideshow, if it is required to display a hidden slide, just right-click on the slide preceding the hidden slide to display the shortcut menu. Select the Go option from the shortcut menu to display a submenu. Select the By Title option from the submenu. Now click on the name of the hidden file, which is identified by its slide number in brackets. Or you can also press the H key to display the hidden slide. Animations too can be added to the slides in order to make the presentation more appealing. You can add animations to a slide using the Animation Effects toolbar, which will display the various animation effects that can be applied to the presentation. To add the animation toolbar, click on the View option in the standard menu bar to display the View menu. Now, select the Toolbars command from the menu. All the toolbars available in PowerPoint are now displayed, and you can select the Animation Effects option. The Animation Effects toolbar is then added to the screen. The slide title can be made to drop in during the show by clicking on the Animate Title icon on the Animation Effects toolbar. This setting will stay in effect until the current presentation is turned off. The body of the text on a slide can be made to appear one paragraph at a time during a presentation. Click on the Animate Slide Text icon to set this effect. By clicking on the Drive In Effect icon, text will drive into the slide accompanied by the sound of a car. By clicking on the Flying Effect icon, the selected text or object can be made to fly in from the side, accompanied by a whooshing sound. By clicking on the Camera Effect icon, the selected text or object can be made to appear on the slide as if a camera shutter was opening. By clicking on the Flash Once icon, a selected text or object can be made to appear briefly and then disappear from the slide. That is, the selected text or object flashes once. By clicking on the Laser Text Effect icon, the selected text or object can be made to fly from the top right corner of the slide, accompanied by a laser sound. By clicking on the Typewriter Text Effect icon, the selected text or object can be made to appear character by character, as if it were being typed on a typewriter. Clicking on the Reverse Text Order Effect icon can reverse the order in which selected text will appear. When this effect is applied on a bulleted list, the bulleted points will appear in the reverse order, starting from the last one. By clicking on the drop-in effect icon, the text can be made to appear on the slide as if it were falling like rain, one word at a time. The animation order option can be used to change the order in which the objects will appear on the slide. The value displayed in the box is the original sequence number corresponding to the order in which the objects were created. You can use the arrow key to the right of the box to change the sequence in which the objects will now appear on the screen. There are also additional settings available besides the options on the Animation Effects toolbar which can be applied to the animations. Clicking on the Custom Animation icon opens Custom Animation dialog box. The options in this dialog box will give you access to further settings which are not available in the Animation Effects toolbar. After setting the animation effects, you can preview it before applying it to the slide by clicking on the Preview Animation icon. Once the presentation is complete, you can add additional comments or points to the presentation while editing using the Meeting Minder option. The features provided by the Meeting Minder can also be added to the presentation while the slides are being presented. In order to open the Meeting Minder dialog box while editing the slide, click on the Tools option in the standard menu bar to display the Tools menu. Select the Meeting Minder option from the drop-down menu. This will open the Meeting Minder dialog box. There are two tabs provided in this dialog box: Meeting Minutes and Action Items. On selecting the Meeting Minutes tab, the minutes of the meeting can be entered in the pane that is displayed. These minutes will then be associated with the appropriate presentation. When you select the Action Items tab, a pane is opened in which the information about the meeting can be entered. In the Action Items tabbed page, which is displayed, additional notes such as the due date of the presentation and the names of the people to whom the task has been assigned can be entered. You can also edit the slideshow while running it. To display the Meeting Minder dialog box while running the slideshow, click on the right mouse button, which will display a shortcut menu. Select the Meeting Minder option from the shortcut menu. This will open the Meeting Minder dialog box. The required features can then be added to the current slide using this dialog box.